Alright, I'm back with another Destiny 2 video, and I thought I would re-record the video I did yesterday, which got the sound all screwed up, as per usual. This happened before, and I uploaded it without understanding that happened. So I'm not going to do that again, and instead I'm going to talk about what I was going to talk about, which is where I think people should start Destiny 2 at this point. And this is spurred by the fact that for this week, until I think next Wednesday, the Epic Game Store is offering the Destiny Legacy Pack for free. And that includes Shadowkeep, Beyond Light, and Witch Queen. So that is 3 out of the 4 current expansions that exist in the game, with Forsaken chopped up and sold for parts, and the final shape not here yet. So there will be a lot of people getting those 3 expansions and being like, okay, so where should I start here? Like, obviously, what you would think of is chronological order. I guess you will log in and be given the New Light quest and stuff, which you should probably do because it's a pretty good introduction to mechanics and things. However, I would definitely not start with Shadowkeep. It is my opinion that Shadowkeep is the worst Destiny expansion of Destiny 1 or Destiny 2. And yes, I know Lightfall was bad, but Lightfall was bad in the sense that the story was just like outrageously terrible, and I think that overshadowed some okay things about it. Like the Legend campaign, well, the story elements of that were bad. The actual campaign to play was kind of fun and challenging, and it was a good time, I thought, if you just ignore all the story stuff. Strand was also a great addition in Lightfall, even though, the story stuff was bad. Shadowkeep is just a bad expansion, and it added the moon, which is good, but the moon is free now, so you can go to any destination. Shadowkeep was not a very good expansion in the sense that it was essentially about assembling a set of armor and then going inside the pyramid for 2 seconds, and you're kind of helping Eris deal with her trauma and whatever, but it was not very compelling. The weapons weren't good. Really, it was not a good expansion. Beyond Light is better, and you get stasis there, and it's probably in the middle of what we consider good, bad Destiny expansions. But my advice is to start with the Witch Queen. That is the final expansion that you will get in this Legacy Pack. And the reason being is I think it's best to make a good first impression. And arguably, the Witch Queen is first or second or maybe third, depending, of the best Destiny expansions. I think there are certainly elements that are better than everything else. I think the campaign, most importantly, is the best Destiny expansion campaign. It's better in context if you know the full story around it, but in terms of challenge, it was the first one to introduce the legendary difficulty, which, for players that are already kind of good at shooters, that may be something you want to dive into. If you're not a Destiny player, straight into that, or you can just play normal. They're well structured campaign missions, good story beats. Other expansions like Forsaken, Forsaken is probably top tier overall, just based on the amount of stuff it added, and it is a crying shame that the story of that was just gutted and erased from the game. So there is no Forsaken expansion anymore. You can buy the exotics and the raid and the dungeon, and that's it. One of the dumbest things I think Bungie's ever done. And then there's no point going back to Destiny 1 because we're talking about Destiny 2 here. But given the context of what we have, I would start with Witch Queen because I think it is going to make the best first impression on players and kind of really see what Destiny is capable of. Whereas Shadowkeep certainly would not make that impression, I don't think. And Beyond Light maybe, but I think Witch Queen, if you're trying to capture someone's attention, and this is, I'm talking to current Destiny players and new Destiny players, I think the Witch Queen is the way to go. And you might say, well, why would you start with the 3rd expansion? Because people are going to be so confused about the story and they won't have any back. Guess what? They're going to be confused about the story no matter what, because this game has been chopped up into little pieces and half of those pieces are in the garbage now. There is no hope for people understanding the story at this point by experiencing it through the game. They say the Light and Darkness saga begins at Shadowkeep. It obviously does not. That's very stupid. Like, there is the pyramid that shows up, but the Light and Darkness saga has been going on since Destiny 1. And using Shadowkeep as a starting point, or going from the New Light quest to Shadowkeep, it's going to be incoherent. Starting at Shadowkeep, starting at Beyond Light, starting at the Witch Queen, they're all incoherent, especially, we've also deleted the seasons in between these. So even if you're going straight through the expansions in chronological order, you're missing 3 seasons of content, which wasn't always directly connected to the next expansion, but sure did a lot of, world building background. And the seasons before Witch Queen absolutely led up to Witch Queen and the events of that game, and you can't play any of those anymore. So I would play Witch Queen. After Witch Queen, if you like that, I think you can go back and play the other 2. I don't really have an order for the other 2, but if you go in knowing that they're probably not going to be as good as Witch Queen, but you still want to get them done, you still, want to see what they were like. And like the story stuff is pretty separate from one another. Like Shadowkeep's about Eris, Beyond Light is about the Exo Stranger and Anna and Clovis, and Witch Queen's about Savathun. They're not really directly related to each other. They are kind of self-contained, so you sort of can do them in any order. Then if you want to just be current with the game, I don't know if I can like give a hard sell on the $100 Lightfall pack or $80 or whatever, $60, whatever it's knocked down to now. Again, Lightfall is a pretty good, like, not story campaign, mechanical campaign, gameplay campaign, and Strand is a very good subclass to unlock. But if you just really want to like catch up to everyone, I don't think there's anything wrong with just buying individual seasons. That could be last season because that was a very good season, or that could be, and that also relates directly to the Witch Queen and Shadowkeep with Eris and Savathun and stuff. Or this season, the current season, which has a really good central activity, and I think is kind of fun to just jump in and play that. And I don't think it's like a bad season to start with if you are, suddenly into the game after 3 expansions and you like, okay, I want to keep up with the live stuff. Because you can't play any of the old seasons, your options are pretty limited. So it's, do you want to spend $40 for Lightfall or whatever, or do you want to spend $12 on a season? I don't know. That's up to you. But you just have to go in knowing that Lightfall's story is very bad. Maybe it's less bad if you're just not a long-time Destiny player and you don't know how good expansions can be, but it is shockingly bad in terms of its actual story components. So it's, it's all personal preference. I just don't really think it's a good idea to pick up this legacy pack for free and then start with Shadowkeep and try to go in chronological order. Even if that makes sense, if you only get one chance to make a first impression, I would recommend everyone play Witch Queen. In a perfect world, I probably would have recommended everyone play Forsaken, or obviously the Red War campaign, which is at least a starting point for the story. But we live in a world where those are deleted. So this is kind of, I think, the next best thing. I may write a separate article about this tomorrow or something, just because some people watch videos, don't read articles, and vice versa. So I may be doubling up here a bit, but I don't know. I've been asked this question a million times, and usually my answer is like, I don't know. I don't know where to start Destiny, because it's such a chopped up mess at this point. Even as someone with 3,000-4,000 hours into Destiny, I can't even answer that question. So I'm trying to answer the question based on, the assumption that a lot of people are going to pick up this legacy pack for free. And even if not, even if you're, buying it separately or whatever, I still think Witch Queen is the right answer. You can disagree. I would love to hear what everyone thinks in the comments as the best place to start Destiny. And if you disagree, maybe you start the current season. Maybe you do think you should start with Shadowkeep. I don't know. Or boot up Destiny 1, and those servers are still on. But yeah, so that is my take on this. I'm very interested to see how the player count reacts to this, except we may not know. The problem is this is the Epic Game Store, which most PC players are going to do everything humanly possible to avoid. And if you buy stuff on the Epic Game Store, it does not translate to console. It does not translate to Steam. So these expansions you can only play on PC through the Epic Game Store. So I think that is going to be a somewhat limiting factor here. I don't know. We'll see how that pans out. But I think it's a good opportunity. Bungie got paid for that. They're going to sign new people up. The goal is to make money from people who stick around. It's not like some controversial thing. I don't think it's like Bungie's so desperate. Like, I can't believe they're doing this. Like, this is something that was in the works for a long time. Like, these deals don't happen overnight. So it's not like they laid a bunch of people off and did this. Probably did happen once Lightfall numbers started to crash. That would be my guess, is when this kind of got discussed. But again, it's 3 expansions that are, over 2 years old. So it's not exactly like they're, dumping out Lightfall and all the current seasons for free. It's a little different. But so yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully the sound is not screwed up this time. And I will talk to you soon. Take care.